Around 300 staff in total, and that includes our outdoor teams. Being a council, we've got the usual things. So we've got planning, we've got financial services, including procurement and rates. We've got a large capital works program, so we've got some designers and delivery people as well. Community safety, our infrastructure maintenance team, so they do all the gardening and road maintenance, small road maintenance around the council shire. Was great. One thing that I've been talking a lot with colleagues about when working with CSG is just how they were really able to understand what we were looking for. So sometimes when you're working with technical people and you're a non-technical person, it can be really difficult to kind of end up on the same page. But I did find that CSG really understood what we were looking for and were able to ask the right questions and just pick it all out, quite quickly and efficiently, and got it right. The power up that we put in place with CSG was to tighten up a lot of our procedures around our capital works delivery program. So we've got our project owners who are responsible for the end product of the project, and they're responsible for kind of scoping and planning the projects really effectively. And then once the project gets through to our infrastructure delivery team, they need to have all that information to be able to deliver it, on time, on budget, and meet community expectations. So what we put in place has given it more structure, where we're working with a lot of Word templates, and there's a real reluctance to complete them. I think, people find them a bit old-fashioned and hard work, and so they didn't really do them, I suppose. So we were finding that that projects would get to our infrastructure delivery team and they weren't scoped properly, and it's almost impossible to deliver something properly. So the power up with CSG has just really tightened up that process. So, the project owner completes the form, it goes to a project sponsor who reviews everything and makes sure that's correct. And then it goes to the project manager in the infrastructure delivery team, and they say, yes, this is deliverable, we can do that. And it sort of forms like an agreement loop. So it's just more responsibility, I guess, or clarifying the roles and responsibilities of each person. We're working on a form for our revenue team. So we, obviously being a council, we collect rates from our ratepayers. So our rates notices go out, and then our ratepayers, if they're in a situation where they've got some hardship, they can apply to us for some consideration, so payment plans and those sorts of things. So what we put in place is an online form that they can access directly through our website. They can complete that form, and then the workflow is that it then goes into a power up at our end. It's very tightly controlled, so obviously the subject matter is very sensitive, so only our rates coordinator and our rates hardship officer can actually see that form. Or the results of that form. And CSG have also put in an audit trail, so we're able to see who's accessed it and for what purpose, I guess, and how long they were in there. So that's really useful addition. So I guess prior to this being put in place, our ratepayers would have to download a PDF from our website and complete the PDF, and then they'd have to print it, sign it, scan it, and email it back to us. So that's really, I guess it's really challenging. And we've got a really strong customer centre focus for our council, and we're working through step by step to try to, move more and more towards, a really nice customer experience, particularly for something like hardship. I think if someone's in that situation, you need to make it as easy as possible for them to be able to work through the process that they need to work through. Of having that closing loop that the power up has given us just means that it's a really robust process. So everybody knows it's all tracked. They've answered every question, so they systematically have to go through a form and answer all of the questions, and then it goes to the next person and they make sure that they've approved it, and then the next person and they've approved it. Any changes going forward then go back through that loop. So the benefits of that are that our projects are scoped properly and they're planned properly, and everybody understands exactly where they're going to be. Where in the past, because it wasn't a robust process and there was bits of paper and they were saved here, there and everywhere, there was just no responsibility, I guess, no ownership. So this has just really allowed us to tighten that up, and the benefits of that will be, we're already starting to see them, but going forward there'll be, the sky's the limit really once we have that really tight program in place. The most important benefit for us from that is that ease of use for our customers. So that's definitely the number one. But obviously there's an internal, employee experience factor as well. So our rates team are able to access the Power App on their screen and see exactly what, the results of the form. They're all on one line. It's easy to do. And we put in a function as well that we're able to extract a PDF from that and store it into our document management system. So it's really giving that user, internal user, a really clean and easy way to manage their work. A lot of them, I guess. So we've got a really large capital works program, and there's a lot of expectations, a lot of community expectation, there's a lot of political expectation, and it does, I guess, cause a bit of stress amongst the teams, and any sort of lack of planning or not having everything quite in place makes that more difficult than it needs to be. So it's already quite challenging, and having that streamlined process to get all that planning right up front has really brought a lot of benefit and will continue to do so. It'll be really interesting to see in 12 months' time at the end of the program, how smooth that has been, and how I suspect that it'll make a huge difference to us. The robustness of the system and making sure that people have scoped and planned their projects effectively will eliminate's probably a bit strong, but it'll definitely reduce the number of variations we have with our projects. So if things are planned really nicely up front, then that's going to save you time and money as you go through the project. Engaging with the tools that we had. So we did have some templates in the past that were in Word, but it wasn't mandatory that people use them. So the benefits was just that people people expect these days that something will be online. So if you're asking them to go into another system, into Word, fill it out, save it, send it to someone else, it just doesn't work so well. So we were looking for something that really grabbed people's attention, and we found that. So that the app, it looks really good. I think that's another thing, and that's the benefits of that are probably something that I didn't really expect at the start, but just the work that CSG did to use our corporate colours and just to make it look really engaging has been wonderful, because people get in there and actually want to complete it. A lot of, I guess, tentativeness around it. We've got a lot of we're doing a lot of transformation in our digital space, so people there's probably a bit of that, the change fatigue that they talk about, and I think that's a real thing, but I was quite determined that this would bring about a lot of benefits. So I pushed pretty hard to make it happen. So I guess there was some concern. There was a bit of I'm not sure if that'll work, or will we be able to deliver it in time? And we have been able to do it. It was actually done quite quickly, and it's been a smooth process to implement as well, because it's all linked up with all of our Microsoft 365. It's there. And I guess one of the other benefits that it's brought to us is that we're moving through that path of using Microsoft 365 more. So this just adds another level, and people see, oh wow, this can do this, and that's really great. And it's like it's just pushing us forward a little bit more. As I had the first conversation with CSG, I I felt that I'd already overcome the obstacles, because the understanding of the process and what we wanted to do, it was so clearly understood, and CSG were able to articulate back to me exactly how it would work. So then I could pass that on to people in the business and say, look, we can do this, and this is how it's going to work, and this is what benefits it's going to bring to us. So it was actually quite easy. And I'm sure there was still a little bit of reluctance as well, or just a lack of understanding of how it would work until they saw it. But that we were able to overcome that really, really quickly. And people have been using it, so they're engaged in it. And as soon as they open it, they love it. And they are completing it and submitting them, and it's all going through perfectly. Definitely recommend CSG to other councils. I think the Capital Works program in particular is something that all councils have to work through. From what I understand, a lot of them have the same difficulties that we do. So I definitely recommend CSG. And I think that one of the main reasons for that is I do work with, I'm not a technical person myself, but I do work with a number of technical people in my role. And I found that CSG have been the best people that I've worked with to understand and to understand me and what I'm trying to do, and for me to be able to understand them. So I think that just happened so quickly and so easily that from that first phone call, I was working through it. It was, the questions were all great. I was able to answer them, and CSG just got it. And that's such a relief, because that technical, non-technical, understanding thing is not always that easy in my experience. It's just to make sure that you understand what your business process is first. And that CSG do help you work through that. So you don't need to be 100%. That's what I found. Of course, it is best to be 100%. So if you make sure that you know exactly what you want to do, what you want to achieve, then I think it makes it easier. So any of the things that haven't gone quite right, and there've just been a couple of them, have been at our end rather than CSG's end. We've seen the process and how it's ended up, and then we've thought, actually, maybe that person should be able to do that. So it's just little bits, and it was from that I guess lack of clear definition in our minds. We've done a few things now, I guess, after this our first run. Within a couple of weeks, there was, maybe we could do this and maybe we could do that. I really have to emphasize just that understanding of business processes. That has just really, it kind of, I don't know, I don't want to, it really knocked my socks off. I think it's not overstating it by saying that. It was just that from that first call when CSG just got it, what I was trying to do, and they understood, it was such a relief to me. And it, from a non-technical person, the technical stuff can be really hard for me to work through in my own mind, and that it can be quite stressful. So I feel like they just took that away, because I thought, oh wow, you really get it, and it's been fabulous. And we've, I guess, since that first one, we've done another few, and we've got another one in the works.